week's episode.
Whenever you're down.
Okay. Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Too Cute for Cancer. All right. As you guys know, last week we had a little bit of a different video because we were off having fun. We went to Dollywood with our grandchildren. My whole entire family, our immediate family, and my sister and my brother-in-law. We were all together for the first time in...
All together for a couple of years.
Yeah, all three of my children and grandchildren, all six of them. It was the most blessed time ever. It was just great. So I apologize that we didn't have any more for you. And it was also, we celebrated 40 long years.
Long time since we got married.
Yes, 40 years of marriage. So
I'm sorry.
All right. I took your questions and I went through all of them, and we narrowed it down to ones that I had repeats on, and we're gonna just go through them and answer them as honestly as we can. All right. And we did not practice these. We did not even read them before now. So we are just gonna go just kind of off the cuff. Alrighty, let's see. Let's start at the top. Well, why don't we go ahead and start with...
How about, where's the one, how we met?
Okay.
Right there, how did we meet?
How did we meet?
I can take that one.
Okay, you take that one.
I do the Reader's Digest version. Because you just go on and on. Okay, so I was a waiter at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor restaurant in Montclair, California, when it was a Sunday afternoon. I know that because that was the only time I worked day shift. And I remember this cute blonde came in with a kind of a puffy sleeve dress.
Yep, I had my pinstriped with puffy sleeves. I remember that. Very 80s.
Very 80s, her 80s poofy haircut. And she said, want to talk to the manager. And I said, why do you want to talk to the manager? Because, well, I want to... get an application for a job. And of course, embarrassingly, I looked her up and down and I went, baby, you're hired.
He did.
And then I just remember the uncomfortable look on your face was like, are you the manager? No, okay, so you were 17?
I was 17.
I was 18.
I was a baby.
But I had a mustache. She probably thought I was some old guy. And being inappropriate. Stop doing that.
Sorry.
And so she goes, are you the manager? I said, no, but you're hired. So anyway, I got her the manager. They did the application. She sat down with the manager in one of the side rooms while I was waiting the tables in the main room. And the entire time, I would go out of my way, bringing the food, and go into that room and then go into the main room. And I kept doing things like, like that. And the manager was getting really, really annoyed with me. And he kept saying things like, we had a good relationship. And she was totally oblivious. Well, anyway, fast forward, she gets the job. And, one time she was going out bowling with a bunch of the guys. And I'm like, I'm going to go home. So I went home and I thought to myself, wait, there's 2 girls and 2 guys bowling. Ooh, that's bad. So I jumped in the shower, put on
your Puma
chaps,
shirt.
my Puma shirt, my chaps, chaps aftershave, and drove all the way down. It's quite a ways down to the bowling alley from Rancho Cucamonga, top of Rancho Cucamonga, all the way down to the Upland bowling alley, and then showed up. And then, of course, it was really cold at night. And the guy that she rode with from there, his window was broken, so he had like plastic covering it, And I'm like, oh,
I was not dating this guy. Just letting you know.
You should ride with. He wanted to date you.
Yeah.
You should ride with me because, well, my car's warm and dry, and so she did. She rode with me, and we got to the driveway and decided, hey,
are you hungry?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? And so then we turned around and went to the 24-hour breakfast place, Benji's.
Yeah, Benji's.
In Upland. And sat there forever, eating and talking, and found out that she could sing. And I was scheduled to sing at this country fair thing in Laverne, and I didn't know what I was going to sing yet, just some country song, and I said, "Oh, well, we should do that new duet,
Just You and I.
Just You and I, with Crystal Gale and
Yep.
Eddie Rabbitt." So we said, "Let's do it." So we were going to get together and practice,
Yep.
and I remember showing up, and instead of practicing, we decided to go
To a
see
movie.
a movie, Footloose,
Yeah.
with Kevin Bacon, and yes, we're that old. So really, they talk about the sixth degree of separation between Kevin Bacon. Well, because of Kevin Bacon,
Yes.
we're here today.
Yes, thank
talking
you,
about
Kevin.
how. And so anyway, we finally did practice. I'm sure because
Somehow,
the duet
I know we did.
the duet
I
went over
remember.
well. People liked it, and then it wasn't very. Just a few months later, we were married.
Yep.
So
Yep. And after that first date, we have been together every single day since then, except for when he was in the police academy and I was sick, had to stay in hospital or something, things like that. But other than that, we have been together pretty much every day.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So that is our
Did
love
you just-
story.
Did you just hit that?
Oh, no, did I-
Wait. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Phew, I
Looked
thought I
you-
read- I know, I
Looked
thought
like
I-
you deleted all those.
Oops.
But you just accidentally opened a new note.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Maybe
so
I should hold that.
now let's see. Let's go to. Okay. Let's start on how did we tell our children that I have cancer? Now you got to remember that my first diagnosis was when I was the day that May
Summer
1st.
was still in a car seat. I
Yep.
remember that. And
It
we
was-
had the little.
The year your dad
Red
died,
car.
May 1st. What year was that?
He was 61 when he died, and he was
Mm-hmm.
born in 1936.
Yep.
46, 56, 66, 76, 86, 96. So
Yes.
97.
Yep. So
1997
1997 was my
Apparently,
first.
I'm terrible with math. I have to use my fingers.
Yes, at least you can do math. Anyway, 1997 was my first diagnosis, and at that same time, our son Michael was put into hospice because he was 7 years old. He was dying, and his dad died. He very suddenly. He had a heart attack and died at age 61.
Went into the hospital,
Yep.
had surgery, came out of the surgery. They said it went well, and then he never made it home from the hospital because
Yep.
he was in the surgery and the second time I think and had a cardiac arrest.
Yep. And they
didn't make it
couldn't. Yeah. So it was very sudden. Within a day, he had passed. So there was a lot going on, and me having cancer was like at the bottom of the list, and I wasn't sure how bad it was. All I knew is I had to go in for a biopsy. They did a biopsy, and then we went in for the staging, and the doctor was very casual and like, yeah, well, between stage 0 and 1, we're gonna do a lumpectomy. I suggest we do a lumpectomy, and then we're gonna do radiation just because of your age and the type of cancer that you have. Okay, so
Yeah, I don't remember
I don't
sitting
even-
down with the kids.
No, I don't.
And saying, "Children,
Yeah, I don't. It just
prepare
was,
for this bad news." I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
I don't remember doing that. I just know I think you said Mama doesn't feel very good. She's going to the doctors, and we just kind of like kept it on the down low. I think for the most part because for the kids' sake, because they were already dealing with the pending death of their brother, and that was the
And
biggest,
Grandpa and all
and
that.
grandpa and stuff. So there wasn't really a time where we just sat down and told them.
And I was working out of the area. I was that right around the same
Sacramento.
time? I was going back and forth, working out of the area. Sometimes in Arizona, sometimes
Yep.
in Sacramento.
So it was like very, very stressful time. That was her first diagnosis. After that, I was clear of cancer for 8 years. I just went every 3 months, then every 6 months, and then every year, and then I moved up to every 2 years. And so by the time that my cancer I had a second occurrence, our kids were then like older and teenagers and old enough to understand the whole process, and there wasn't any sitting down and saying mom has cancer. It was like, okay, I got to go in because they found something and pray, and then my daughter-in-law actually they weren't married yet, but she was part of our lives then, and it just kind of was like a natural flow. We take one step at a time. So yeah, that's just kind of how that went.
The good news is there's so much, like on TV, there's so many documentaries, there's so many medical shows. There was no YouTube back then. Mm-mm. You can literally sit down with your kids and go, this is what mom has. And you can actually go through a video series.
Yeah, now it's so much easier, better, I think.
Yeah.
And you could Google and you could do so much more than what was available at our time, right, when we were first diagnosed and stuff. So, and then by the second time when my cancer returned and spread, the kids were like Googling and telling me about, oh, I heard about this treatment, and they were very proactive in the whole process. So,
and I think that plays into the next question, the other question: do your grandchildren know you have cancer? And,
yeah,
and I think the answer, and you jump in here and correct me, of course, but she's really good at correcting me. Jump in there and correct me if I say it wrong. But I think it's more of
their parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, their parents. That was on them to tell them, and what their parents felt that each age group could handle, because we have a very large. We have from 16. Taylor's almost 16, all the way down to 1.5. So, and then there's Bentley. We had to tell him. Yeah,
and he just doesn't get it. I don't know what's wrong. He doesn't care.
Like,
it's all about his toy. That's
yes,
all.
It is. That's all he cares about.
Okay, well, also with the grandkids, a lot of it is, we have to kind of reinstill, because there's a lot of, where's grandma? Oh, she didn't make it. She's just not feeling good today. Mm-hmm. And you would think, oh, wow, she's always sick. What's going on? Well, no, there's good days and there's bad days. There's pain days, and if she's up a lot, then she's got to sit down more and lay down more. So I think it's a constant reminder that you're going through something. So.
Right, and their parents, they pray with them. Let's pray for grandma. And every time we go in for testing, like the older kids, they check on me and, we're praying for you, grandma. They know, but the little tiny ones, they just know that maybe grandma doesn't feel good, and let's pray for her. So that's just kind of how we deal with everything. Our family, we deal with everything with prayer. And along with that, they explain what's going on to some extent, depending on the age group.
It's not playtime. It's not playtime.
Bentley thinks it's playtime. Look at him. He's like, oh, mommy and daddy are sitting here just for me. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Bentley, he's trying to knock my phone out of my hand because he does that.
So we kind of covered how long you've had cancer. How do we meet? I killed that. I think I killed that.
You did good, baby.
How did we tell our children? How do your grandchildren? Is it hard on our relationship? It's easier now than it was before. That's what I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Because now it's like...
there's just us.
Right, it's just us.
And Bentley.
And also, it's like I'll say, oh, I'm... do you need anything before I get in the shower? Or can I, if you're having a bad pain day, if you're in bed, I could say things like, I'll come in and say, oh, before I leave, do you need anything? Do you want me to get you anything? What about food? That type of thing. I pick up your medicine. I have to make sure we have all that going. I think it's a lot easier now, but at the very beginning, of course, it was difficult because there's always that uncertainty. Another thing that's difficult in a relationship, I think, is the constant not knowing. There was a time, not recently, but before, where you were really, really bad.
Yeah.
And there was, this might be the last Christmas I get to spend with my family. This might be the last Thanksgiving. This might be the last this and this. And everything felt like this might be the last time grandma's around.
Right.
And then the next thing we know,
she's still here.
Grandma's still, she's back to work now. She's doing better.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was harder at the beginning than it is now, which actually I think that what we just talked about plays into the big question.
Why am I still alive?
Yeah. I think the way to ask that question is,
that was not very nice, by the way.
Well, okay, well, okay, there's two ways to ask that question, and it's hard to tell from a post or a question written down. It could be, wow, tell us, please, your secret. Why are you still alive?
Or why are you
it could
still
be,
here?
Yeah, why are you still alive? And I understand that because we've had a lot of friends and family and friends that have passed away that were your cancer buddies.
Yeah. Lost
you know,
a lot of people.
Like John with brain cancer. My son's drummer.
Yep.
And he had been battling for many years. Our good friend.
26 years he had brain cancer, and he was supposed to die after 18 months. And it became kind of like with John, it was like he's just always going to be here because he just keeps beating this thing. And then one day he had a stroke and he passed very, it went pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I think that is always in the back of our minds because we know that each time we go in for scans, each time that, they detect, something on my scan or it's moved to, like when it moved to my bones and my spine, it was like they told us, that was another,
Hospice.
set up hospice, get a hospital bed, which we did. That was another question in here that I don't think I put down. Why do I sleep in a hospital bed?
Well, okay, so we had this really huge California King sleep number bed that we slept on, and it was super comfortable and it had all the different baffles that we could, adjust for my level, your level. But then you had with your pain, you had problems sleeping flat, and you moved around a lot. And so we looked into comfort and found a hospital bed.
Yep.
From a friend of ours from church. Her mom passed away, and
at the same time, the doctor had said that he recommended palliative care, and which is hospice, because we were declining to do chemotherapy.
yeah. And another thing, we had a recliner.
Yeah.
In another room. And so here we had this huge California King bed, and she would often get up in the middle of the night and go to the recliner and then sleep the rest of the night on the recliner because the recliner could move back and forth.
Right.
You could shift positions. And so that's right around the same time as when we heard from Kathy.
Yep.
Kathy Desch, who said, "Oh, I have this husband."
Who ironically passed away last year. That was.
But
like,
we 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
3 years ago.
Oh my
now.
gosh, it's been that long.
So we drove down. My son Ray and I drove down with a truck. We picked it up in Orange County, brought it back, but then you were sleeping in another room in a hospital bed.
And we have never slept apart before.
Here we had this huge California King sleep number bed that I was sleeping on. I felt kind of guilty. So we tried moving it in, and we had it in the same room, and it was just really, really tight.
Yeah.
So finally we decided, hey, back then, I mean, with our financial situation,
we could not afford to get a fancy bed.
Yeah,
That was like,
the
no
sleep
way.
number beds that went up and down, $3,000-$4,000. So we found, I found a brand new hospital bed just like yours. And I thought, well, this will work. So we gave away the sleep number bed.
Yep.
And we moved in
That
the
was
room
funny.
with 2 hospital beds.
And then we pushed them together,
make
and
one.
then I would make it up like a regular bed because then we could be together, we could be close together, and I could be comfortable. And
I have a picture of that when we were selling the house, and we
Yeah.
should probably drop it into there.
We should.
To just show you what it looks like, because we tried to make it look like one bed as much as possible, but they were just a little bit different levels.
Yep.
So, but that's
And
been working for
it's
several
been working
years.
for years now. I don't need a hospital bed, but I still
You
can't.
still sleep.
I sleep. I constantly move, up and down. So we are going to branch out, and we are going to invest in a regular bed that goes up and down, so we can have a normal bed without it being a hospital bed. But that is why we sleep still in a
But
hospital bed.
it's still a split king. So
Yeah, it's a
it'll go up,
split
it'll go
king,
up.
so it'll go up and down, and
I
we can
don't-
be together.
I don't think either one of us can sleep on a regular bed anymore. I mean, I think we
Yeah.
need to have that because we're so spoiled by the ability to
Yep.
up and down and change it in different directions.
Yep.
So
But
we'll-
Yep. That's why we sleep in a hospital bed still.
And because we're old, and we're at the end of our lives. You just,
Yeah. And
Where am I?
there was always this feeling of like I felt good enough. We could we looked at beds and stuff. Oh, that'd be really cool. But then it's like, oh, the grandkids need this, or the kids are moving into a house, or, the roof needs to be fixed, or the plumbing just always something that was more important than.
We need more peanut butter for
Yep.
our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, just something always came up that felt more important than a new bed for us.
How did we get on the bed thing from Why Are You Still Alive?
Because somebody asked, why do I still sleep
okay.
in a
Well, I'm
hospital
going to go back to
bed?
Why Are You Still Alive?
Okay.
I know we're running out of time.
Yep.
We've been talking for a long time. Wow, 20 minutes. Maybe we should cut this. Trim it down. Why Are You Still Alive? I've had some of the people that I think, well, are they asking it like, why are you still alive?
Yeah.
When so many other people have passed away, and we know because we've had that same instance happen in our lives. But I think, a lot of people come out and say, well, why are you still alive? We don't buy the fact that you actually are a cancer patient. And my response is, well, then maybe we should go back to all those doctors and sue them for giving you chemo and giving you radiation and cutting you open and then
taking my breast out and my stomach and my innards and my kidney and
yeah, we still need to figure out about that kidney thing.
yeah, that's
And then that esophagus surgery you had to have because of the damage
Yeah.
done by the cancer treatment. So, you know what? If the doctors are lying, we should be really mad because we could have had a much better quality of life.
Yep.
And we wouldn't have to have 2 hospital beds.
Yep. That's
So
true.
very true.
Yeah, and the thing is like cancer is not sometimes it is a one and done thing. Some people get cancer and they're great. His mom had cancer twice, and each time it was like maybe 3 or 4 years in between, and then it spread. She had a double mastectomy, she had chemotherapy, she did radiation, did the whole thing, and then she lived 30 some years late after that and never had a reoccurrence. Died of natural causes at 87 or 88 years old. So it's like, yeah, sometimes it can be that way, but sometimes it is not that way. Sometimes, like my friend Kathy Desch, she got cancer and she was gone within like a year. It was just like so like just
And then John is forever, a
Yeah.
long time. And
26 years. Unbelievable. He was like this walking miracle. But during those 26 years, he was in and out of treatments. He had surgeries. And I don't think, because you guys only see maybe less than 10% of our lives. You do not see, we give you the best part of our lives.
the showered part of the life.
Yeah.
The hair done, the
Well, not
makeup
always.
on. Not always.
I show him everything,
I
But,
showered today
Yeah.
and did my hair. So
Yes. But you guys do not see, you guys don't.
the 98.9%.
Right, exactly. You guys haven't seen, not for a long time. I did, when I went through chemotherapy and I was bald, I did all that. And those videos are still there. If anybody wants to take the time to go back and look at them. I have, I've shared pretty much everything, but now that I'm doing better and the Lord has blessed me with more time, I'm just like, I'm not going to lie and say that I am in bed every day and sick all the time, because that is not the case. Now, there are days.
But with that, you are in bed a lot because, you go out to church, we have a lunch, we do something, and then
I'm
boom,
exhausted.
you're exhausted, which is more than normal. And then you're in bed, for the rest of the day, which will be right after this video. And I'll be like, honey, do you need anything from the kitchen?
Right.
But I just thought of something too with that question, why are you still alive? And I'll just put it out there, and some people will be offended, some people will not. But if you're open-minded, you won't be offended. Are you open-minded? Because throughout this whole journey, we have people coming out. I think I've said this before in a previous video, but we have people coming to us. Oh, you have cancer, just drink this juice. Oh, you have cancer, just you need to
Careful,
do this.
I don't want to be demonetized.
Okay, we can always cut that out. Mm-hmm. Just what I said. But we had a lot of people that had their own types of treatments, and it wasn't until we went to a specialist. And if you want to know more about that specialist, you can reach out to us because that doctor, I say,
Saved my
saved
life.
your life.
Yep.
And it was radical treatment in our minds and crazy in our minds. And we fought against it for many, many, many years.
Yep.
And we thought you're ridiculously stupid for suggesting this. But it took a while. It took a process before we got to that point to where,
Okay, we don't have anything to lose. Let's
yeah,
try
we have nothing
alternative
else.
treatments.
Let's try the
Yeah.
alternative treatment. And we did. And because of that, you're still alive.
Yep. And I believe
And your
that,
quality of life is better.
right, my quality of life. And I believe that God has a purpose and a time, and He's the one that started my life, and He will be the one that says when it is over. And for whatever reason, God has put me here to do His work and to serve others. And that is why my whole channel exists in the first place. It is not just to document my journey. It was in the beginning because I thought my journey was going to be over soon. There was that. And then it was because every time I looked at a cancer channel, it was like, okay, they went through chemo, they documented the whole thing, and then they died. And, or they did the whole thing and they got better, and then they just disappeared off YouTube, and you never know. It's like, wonder what happened to them. Obviously they got better, but what happened?
Maybe they got better and they decided, I'm going to go live my life. And they
Exactly. But what happens after? What happens when you don't die? What happens when, you're still existing with cancer? It's like, so I felt like God was calling me to fill that void and to show people that, yes, you have a cancer diagnosis, but guess what? You can still have a good quality of life. You can still live. You can still enjoy your family. You can still serve. You can still work. Sometimes very little, sometimes more. That's why they call it a journey. It is a journey. And no, we don't know the destination yet, but I know that God knows my destination. He knows the whole thing. And I just trust that He knows what's going to happen next. I could go in 3 months and get my scans back, and it could be everywhere. And I know that, and it's not lost on me, trust me. And my family knows that. And I think that is why, I'm going to get crybabyish. I think that's why, like, for example, our last family time together, it's just like every time we were all together, it is just that much more precious. And, I prayed that when Taylor was born, that I would be alive long enough for her to remember me.
And now she's almost 16.
Now she's 16, almost 16 years old, yeah. So now my prayer is that I live long enough for baby Olivia to have memories of me. And, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I pray that it is. And we focus on the here and now and not the what ifs. And Bentley, if you pee over there, you're a dead dog. Bentley, whenever we don't give him attention, stop that. Anyway, so that is it.
That out too.
Yeah, Bentley, don't pee over there. So yeah, anytime he doesn't get attention, he does something naughty. He's a naughty boy.
It's all about Bentley, all the time.
Yes, it is. It is.
You think living with a cancer patient's hard?
Live with a Yorkie.
Get yourself a Yorkie.
That is true. That is true. So I think we've answered enough. It's been almost 30 minutes, so we are going to tie that up now. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our lives. You guys rock. And anything more, babe?
Oh, I got lots more, but I don't want you to be demonetized. And I don't want to make anybody angry.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I've had videos taken down because I talked about holistic healing and talked about my journey. And somebody out there went through all of my videos and turned them all into YouTube and complained that I was misinformation about medical treatments.
And giving medical advice.
Yes, even though that was not even the case.
Well,
So we're going to drop that right now because I don't want to get demonetized, and I don't want any more videos to be taken down because that is just ridiculous and petty.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yes, don't be ridiculous. And if you are that petty person, just pass me on. Just stop clicking on the videos and keep on moving. All right, you guys, I love you all, and we are going to end on that note. This is Too Cute for Cancer signing off.
Exactly 30 minutes.
Whenever you're down, out in the cold, faithless and dark, your story